What is good, everyone? It's your boy Gengareth here for the first ever DudeBroDudes podcast episode. I am joined by the one and only Young Nuggy. How you doing, fam?
Not too bad. It's your boy Young Nuggy, aka Adrian, aka Average Girth Penis. We're chilling, you know?
We are chilling.
Living life.
We are chilling. What have you
Got
been
my
up to
coffee, got
today?
my water.
Oh, the coffee. You're prepared. You've came prepared.
Yeah. You know, first show, can't be tired, can't be dehydrated. You gotta get the little 1-2, you know? Maybe think about getting a little drink later, you know?
Oh, spicy. See, the downside of YouTube over Twitch is we don't have hydrate bot to remind us when to say hydrated, so
The downside of Twitch is I don't even have a hydrate bot. I'm gonna be real with you on that one.
I mean,
That's too fancy.
I mean, me neither, but you know, the option's there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I've actually been slacking on hydration lately, and I've been feeling it. So you know,
Oh yeah,
loaded my
same.
desk up with water. If it's there, I'll drink it.
Too much salty food, not enough hydration. This episode is brought to you by hydration. It's brought to you by H2O. Make sure you stay hydrated, kids. It's very important.
Much like your body, the stream is 70% water.
Yes, it is. Yes, that is. We actually have the scientific evidence. You can't see it right now because there's no visuals to go with this.
Oh, I've got the graph pulled up.
Got the graph pulled up. We've got, you know, the young, attractive female lab assistants, each on one on each arm.
Thank you, Stacy. That'll be enough for now.
So
Yes.
the Twitter space is telling us the Game Boy is 30 years old, but the birthday's not today. So why is it trending today? That's what's confusing me. Are people like several days late, or?
I think we as a whole forgot about the Game Boy, you know, with the Switch being a big and up and coming Nintendo product, a bunch of exclusives, Pokemon's around the corner. People are starting to think Nintendo again. They're looking back, they're like, "Oh, I remember playing Pokemon on the Game Boy." Oh, the Game Boy. That's so old right now. And just hit the search bar.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got like all the posts I'm seeing are saying, "Oh yeah, it's 30 years old," and then they're showing Pokemon. I'm like, Pokemon is not 30 years old. If Pokemon's 30 years old, I'm more boomer than I thought.
Oh, that's I feel like we're at a weird age right now where everything's Zoomer and Boomer, but we lose track of the millennial that's slightly in between there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I feel that we're like the lost kid. We're the lost boys. That's what it is. We're just in the middle.
I do know a little bit about the memes, but
The memes? Oh no, dude. Someone thought I said that yesterday. I said meme e, like meme with a Y at the end. And he was like, "Did you just call memes memey?" And he was like getting legit angry at me in chat.
I was there for that a little bit. I got your back on it because I think we were talking about music or shows or something, and
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a descriptor. So I was picking up what you were putting down, but that might be the boomer in me, you know.
Speaking of Twitch, what do you make of this whole Shroud moving to a Mixer scenario?
All right, so we had Ninja move, and that was massive. Ninja became Ninja was already huge on Twitch, 8 years of streaming, let's say, massive upbringing.
Mhm.
Picked up his bags, packed it all up, moved over to Mixer, became the #1 streamer on Mixer instantly. Had a whole transition. We were starting to see a little bit of dips in numbers on Twitch. Shroud, the aiming god, former CS pro, big views, always pumping out the numbers. Variety, not a lot of people know this. Variety streamer.
Yeah.
I watched him play a little bit of Grand Theft Auto roleplay. That was a refreshing take. And he's now moving over to Mixer. I think Mixer's very up and coming right now. And I don't want to be the one to say this, but I feel like if a third streamer, preferably on the female side, moved over, Twitch has some serious competition because right now it's Mixer's just cluttered with Ninja, Shroud, and Monster Cat Radio. Those are the big three on Mixer.
I didn't know
So
about Monster Cat until you told me like a couple days ago. That one kind of surprised me. Shroud surprised me more than Ninja, honestly.
yeah, I didn't see Shroud leaving, but I mean, he must have got a hefty deal. Are the numbers out on that?
No, I've not heard anything about it. It's interesting that you say like Mixer, sorry, that Twitch like dropped in numbers because I looked at the stats. I think it was like Streamer News or someone posted it on Twitter, and it didn't seem like Twitch really took a hit when Ninja moved over. So I'm not sure if it's a case of because streamers move over that viewers move over as well, because just like I can't see people moving, like viewers, I mean, I can't see them going strictly to Mixer just for the viewing content, you know? Like while someone might be a Ninja fan or they might be a Shroud fan, there's still streamers that they enjoy on Twitch. Whether that's going to change further down the line as more streamers go over there, I don't know. But who do you think is a potential candidate to move over to Mixer from this point?
All right, that's a spicy one because my next guess, like, I don't want it to be this, but I think my next guess is gonna go to the Doctor Disrespect on this.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the following, he's got the numbers. Mixer's missing like that wild card personality, you know?
I I do, yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a bit too wild in a sense. I think Mixer's a more clean cut version of Twitch, right? Like I can't see someone let's not to like solo anyone out, but some just chatting streamers, let's say, they're probably not gonna make the cut on Mixer. I feel like it's
Do you
much more kind of lawful good than Twitch is.
do you think that? I just think like not enough people have like reached Mixer yet to like really define what kind of stream it was. Because like Mixer, didn't that start off as like a music streaming platform?
I actually don't know the origins, so I couldn't comment on that. I feel like Tim is a candidate to go over.
That
Tim the
was my
Tap
other
Man.
guess.
Yeah. I saw a couple of people guessing on Twitter. Someone said like ammunition, maybe. I can see it because she's like I think she plays with Shroud a lot and they're like pretty good friends.
Yeah.
But she's also done quite a lot for Twitch. Like she's I think she's like spoken at Twitch events and stuff, so maybe it's more of a sentimental thing. I don't know. Um, who else? Maybe like actually no, I was gonna say Doctor Lupo, but I feel like Doctor Lupo's kind of filled the void that Ninja left.
Yeah, that's also a big thing to account for. Like, you've got these huge names moving over to Mixer, but then you've got these like they've been around, they've been big, but they just haven't like reached their apex yet, or their peak. And with these huge names moving over, that leaves room to just fill that void and just like ascend over the rest of the top streamers.
Yeah, like a lot of them will see kind of the ones who are peaking but could get more money in another platform like Shroud and Ninja, I guess, because they were kind of like the poster boys almost, right? Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but then those who kind of were in the shadows of those people, like Dr. Lupo, like Tim the Tatman. I'd say less so Tim, because Tim's kind of like his own fucking
Yeah,
brand at this point.
Tim is like a homebody though, I feel like in the terms of streaming.
Yeah,
It would be hard for me to see him going anywhere.
yeah. I'd be very disappointed if Tim goes, honestly. Because like a lot of people were kind of upset with Ninja when he went, and they were, like people like Growscore were posting videos like, "Oh, he's just greedy. He just wants the money. Like, look at all the stuff that Twitch has done for you." But like, can you really get mad at him? Like, loyalty's a thing for sure, but how much of that was down to Twitch? Like, sure, it was the platform. They gave him like the platform to do it, but how much of it was Twitch that actually accounted to his success? You know?
Yeah. Um, I think people have this tie of loyalty to their chat as a whole, and not so much Twitch as a platform.
That makes sense.
They like associate everyone in chat as a part of Twitch because Twitch is almost a living organism with like just chat in general. I want to say
Yeah.
that's that's why I've like I don't really watch big streamers. Not because I don't think they're amazing content creators, but because I like that like little comfy, cozy interaction with the viewer and streamers that you tend to find in smaller communities. It's like refreshing to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Like you get, it's just more. It's kind of the trade-off, right? It's viewing content versus chat interaction for the most part. I think a lot of the bigger streamers kind of ignore chat, and it's not. I guess it's not something personal, but it's their job, right? They're there to entertain people, and perhaps they feel that it's just not in their interest to, you know, speak to chat and stuff, as opposed to just going in and doing what they're good at. Like if you're Shroud and you're really good at games, like people come to see you fucking decimate kids in whatever FPS he's playing. But if perhaps you're on like the average gaming side and it's more about building community or just getting hype and shit, and I don't know. I'm interested to see now that people are moving over if this kind of does have like a snowball effect and more people start moving over to Mixer now that two
I
big
mean,
names have gone over.
yeah, it's already at 2. I think the snowball's slowly turning, you know? It's going.
Maybe.
Going back to the chat thing, I want to touch on that for a quick second.
Yeah, go for it.
As a streamer, you and me both are, um, we interact with chat, but if chat gets live enough, it's hard to even keep up with it. So having just thousands of people, I like it's not necessarily, I don't think they always want to just ignore chat. It's just it becomes impossible to keep up with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Once you get to a certain point, like, it is an impossibility. And like you say, even now, like if we miss someone's message, like some people are quite anal about it. A lot of people are chill if they miss if you miss their message. They're just like, oh, they'll either send it again or they'll just chill and then talk to you later. But even like now, like if you miss someone's message, they're like, yeah, you just missed my message. They don't even like type it out again or anything. They're just like, yeah, scroll up and like read my message, bitch. And I'm like, excuse you? Like
Spicy.
yeah, like I get it. I get it. Once you reach a certain threshold of viewers, it does become more difficult. But I think if you're in like triple digits, like verging on quadruple digits, I think it's manageable. But if you're getting like 10k fucking viewers, like you get to read like one comment out of a sea of thousands, But
Well,
I still
yeah.
think acknowledging chat is important. You might not be reading everything, but acknowledging chat is important.
Oh, for sure. With like even for like having an average like 1K viewers,
Mhm.
I think the odd one still does a really good job of just like having that connection with chat. He normally plays like turn-based games or RPGs, so there's not like the constant need for action or gameplay input. And he's
Sure.
played enough of it that he can do it sort of like automatically.
Yeah.
So like I'd hop in his channel, talk a few things about the game or stuff like that, and I've gotten a response 90% of the time. I think that's like just a good testament to some streamers.
What's his like viewer average? Triple
He ranges
digits
between like
or
triple to quad.
okay? Because I've experienced that with a couple of streamers as well. Like there's a guy I watch for Dead by Daylight called Hexy, and I believe he's the, if not the number one, he's like up there.
Yeah.
Usually top three Dead by Daylight streamers. And whilst like he plays the game on autopilot because he's got like thousands of hours, like you said, same with Odd One, but he talks to his chat a lot, and like he interacts with chat, and you can get a conversation going with him and stuff. And I don't know about you, but that's kind of the goal for me. Like I don't like whilst the idea, the kind of romantic, I don't know how to fucking say that word, romantic, that one.
Romanticized.
Yes, that, yeah, romanticized idea of fucking like 10,000s of viewers and stuff. Whilst that might sound nice, I don't think it's going to be all it's cracked up to be. Like the pressures and the, like, once you're on the top, like people are just waiting for you to fall kind of thing. I think that'd be very how to put it, shaky towards like mental health for a lot of people. Like I think only a certain people can hack that, and I don't think I'm one of those.
Yeah,
So
not gonna lie. I think if that like I was in that position, I'd be nervous as all shit. Like right now,
yeah.
I'm just talking to you and I'm a little bit shaky. Like I
For
talk to you
sure.
pretty much on the daily, and I'm like, oh man.
For sure. Like it's nerve-wracking. Like you don't want to fuck up, and if you've got thousands upon thousands of people watching you, like they are looking, well, not like actively looking, right? But people will notice if you fuck up, and then once that's on the internet, that's there forever, dude. So you don't want to be in that position. At least I don't want to be in that position.
I mean, that being said, I think I've done like some pretty dumb things on the internet that I'm perfectly okay with. So I
Probably, yeah.
like I've got some not like nudes, but I've got some silly pictures floating around of me on a few discords.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not as worried, but like at the same time, that's because like I'm on such a smaller like scale. I want to say I'm more comfortable with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the topic of like nudes, like if like a dick pic that I'd, let's face it, everyone's, if you have not sent a dick pic in 2019, you're just lying to yourself, honestly. Like if one resurfaced, I'd be like, oh, that, it's what it is. This is what it is. What it is. Like I don't think that's escapable at this point.
All right, so I've thought about this before actually, like multiple times,
Okay, okay.
and I've like tossed it around with a few people, not my dick, but like the idea.
Okay.
Um, and I was thinking, all right, let's say a picture of my dick does appear on the internet, or like I'm streaming and like my pants fall down, and it's just like boom,
You
that's where it
hate to
is.
see it, man. You hate to see
Yeah,
it.
I think the only appropriate and immediate response, aside from a sorry, is just to go on Twitter, slap on a good picture of your dick. You know, like people seeing it, they're not gonna have it in its prime. You're probably like half masked, a little like flagged, half drawn. You know,
That's a
you
okay.
gotta get the good follow up. It's already out there. You might as well make it look good.
I mean, I straight take pride in dick pics, dude. Like I'm not, if there's a dick pic out there of me, like I've got the lighting down, I've got the camera angle, manscaping's happened. It's like peak condition, so I'm not worried about that. Like I don't think I'd have to
Oh
justify
my.
it.
All right. Well, like I've definitely taken some half-ass dick pics. I'm just like, I guess I respond with this, and I'm like in bed. The lights are barely on. I'm dark
Oh
as it is.
my god, dude.
Like...
The half-assed dick pics.
Yeah, like I'm turned sideways, so you're literally getting half-ass. Like,
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by half-assed dick pics.
why whole ass when you can half-ass?
And that's the tagline.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, we should get that going. You reckon we can
Oh,
get half-assed
possibly, but like we've got to have like a committee. You know, we can't just throw on any. Someone uploads a picture, we're like, that's too good of a dick.
Yeah, that's too good. That's too good.
Yeah.
We'll have different categories, like limp
I
dick.
think
Okay.
I think it would be better if we just had an overall like dictionary.
Oh my nuggy, please.
I'm just throwing that one out there,
I'm
you
I'm
know.
I'm low key proud of you. You made it to like 18 minutes in without getting a nuggy, please. That's got to be some kind of record.
That's 100% because Sushi's not here with us today.
Yeah, shout out to Sushi, man. Sushi,
Oh,
top
the
tentacle lover.
the sexiest voice you'll hear on the internet. Move over, Markiplier.
Oh my, true, true. Whilst we're talking about sushi, we should really discuss how fucking bomb of a community we've established so far. I'm not gonna front. Like,
I feel like a fairly recent addition. I'm just like overwhelmed with how like welcoming and like friendly and just like down to earth everyone is.
yeah, and I think I'm very, how to put it, I'm very protective of this. I really am. Like, I don't want anyone coming in. Like, I don't want it to be like a fucking like screening process and like we interview people. None of that shit. But if I don't vibe with people, like, it doesn't even have to be right away, right?
Oh, that's so Zoomer of you. We're already moving into vibing. Let's get a couple of vibe checks
Oh,
out
shut
here.
the fuck up, dude. Okay, right. But you know what I mean, right? What would you prefer?
Yeah.
Gelling? Like gelling sounds like a boomer
Oh my,
thing to say.
it's like chilling.
Click.
You're like clicking.
Yeah. Okay.
Clicking's kind of boomer too. Fuck it, we'll go back to vibing. It's
Okay.
2019.
So, how to put it? So it all started really when I raided Harley way back in December. No, it's been nearly a year. Yeah, either November or December. One of the two. I think I'm on like 10-month or 11-month sub for him. But it was way back when.
Word flex, but okay.
Hey, I'm still not a founder though, man, so it hurts. I'm only a founder in one person, no, two people's channels, and it hurts.
Oh man.
It really hurts. I'm not gonna front. But
If I could give you that, I would.
I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
All
But,
right,
but you
back to what you're
lose
saying.
the downside about being a founder though is you lose sub badges. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but he was number one.
Oh my god. But yeah. So met Harley, raided him, hung out for a bit. Like, because usually when you raid someone, you like try and hang out for a bit, right? Honestly, like recently I've been pretty lazy with it. Like I'll go in, but I just don't click with people straight away, so I get lazy.
That's my thing too. Like I tend to go for a while when I do stream. So if I'm ending stream, it's probably because I'm like just absolutely dogged. Like I'm tired.
Yeah, for sure. I feel bad as well.
Yeah, I definitely like type a few messages, see what they're about, chill, try to get people to follow. No one ever does. I think I'm like the most AFK raider for being a raider. Like,
I think, like, how to put it? I think when we do raid, it's kind of 50% on us. Well, no, it's 100% on us, but 50% of the 100% maths is how hype we get the chat before we go in. If we're just like, yeah, we're gonna raid this person, and we've never raided them before, it's gonna be like a low energy raid, right? If we go in like, right, motherfuckers, like, get this, spam emotes, fucking blow their shit up, we're gonna make their day and all that crap, like, then it's probably gonna go better. Like, it's gonna be better received. It's just how much energy we put into it.
I definitely I feel you on that.
I think that's what it was with Harley, to be honest. Like, I got everyone hyped. We went in, vibed.
What was
I'm gonna say
at
it.
The time?
It was Warframe. We all met through Warframe in the beginning. Yeah.
Crazy.
And like, none of us really like the game anymore, but it was good while it lasted. So I met Harley through the raid, and then I think it was literally the next day he was like hanging out in my chat, and he was just super cool guy. And then we just like, started hanging out and stuff. I don't think it was like until maybe a month later that we actually started playing games together and stuff, and it became like more of like a friendship as opposed to just, two dudes on Twitch. Because I'm sure you've like experienced this too, right? Like, it's kind of a weird dynamic on Twitch, because when you raid people or when people raid you, it's kind of hard to know what people's intentions are, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Because I don't know, I don't want to go into it with the whole, I hate the word networking. Fucking despise it.
It is a networking thing though. It is.
Like, it is.
You get down to the bare bones. Like, you've got to do like, I'm an introvert. You're an introvert. It's the last thing you want to think about.
Yeah. I just hate the idea of like people thinking of me that I'm like talking to them just for that reason as well.
Oh, for sure. Like, I don't go in with that intention. I think like in the very essence of it, it's networking. But I think of it as like, I only want to network with people I want to be friends with. Like, I don't want to do this just for a number standpoint. Like, I'm going in because I think you're cool, or like I think I really want to talk to you, or like spend time and just chill, play some games, like have that kind of relationship,
Yeah, and I think that's again what's cool about the community we've built. Like, it's not just a on stream thing. Like, we hang out off stream, and I think that's a very like important way of like kind of how to word it. Very important way of deciphering like what people's intents are, I guess. Because like, if people just want to spend time with you like on stream, or just on Twitch, then I guess it's kind of like a one-sided thing, right?
Yeah.
But if we're just hanging out shooting shit, then that's already breaking down and fucking distancing yourself from this networking aspect, and it just becomes more of a friendship thing. And I've always gone through the kind of mindset, the mindset of I will befriend people if I enjoy people and I enjoy what they do on Twitch, I'll support them. You know, like it's very bare bones, it's very like simple. Like if I enjoy someone, I will support them on Twitch. It doesn't take much for me to fucking do that. But if I don't like someone, I won't. Like it is really that cut and dry.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I go very heavy into the if I like what someone's doing, I'll throw all the support I can.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
make that decision real fast though. Maybe too fast, but I'll make it 100%.
Oh no, fucking
like,
definitely too fast. It was like what the second day of you like meeting me, and then you just threw hella support my way, and I was just like, oh my, this dude's literally like not insane, just terrible with money. That's like that's the one thing I fucking decrypted from that like first two interactions. I was like, this guy is a bit.
I don't want to say I'm terrible with money. It's just like I what I wanted to see is what I saw, and I just knew it. Like you were a genuine person, super down to earth. You knew what you were about, and you weren't putting up with like other shit. But you were like still relatable and able to like just be fluid, and just talk about things. Like
Yeah, that's one thing I like try to push for, and I see like other people deal with it different ways. Like I see a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but I see people and like friends of mine as well who, this isn't like calling people out or like talking shit, right? But let's throw an example. So, new kid, for instance, right? So like
love the
yesterday,
guy.
yeah, of course, goes without saying. Goes without saying. Yesterday, with the whole, there was like people in his chat, and I know new kid, it's not that he doesn't like conflict or he doesn't want to deal with conflict, but he wants to kind of distance himself from the disciplinary actions, right? So he wants his mods to deal with like trolls and stuff in chat, whilst he can just continue doing and keeping people entertained, which is like, it's a structure and it's like how it goes. I, to my fault, I think, if someone's being a troll in chat, I give them too much attention, and I'm just like, if someone's being a cunt, I will tell them, and then my mods will like handle them or whatever. But to be fair, I've got very good mods. Sophia, for instance, is an absolute beast, and she won't take shit from anyone, and she'll just ban people like left, right, and center.
I've gotten banned a few times for good reasons.
No, wait, you did, to her defense, you didn't get banned, you just got timed out for like several hours because you refused to go to sleep, I think it was.
Yeah. But like, that's just me. I'm chilling, I'm booling.
And then there's like, other methods, like making everyone in your fucking chat a mod. I mean, how did that go for you?
It never failed, actually.
I mean, for the short period of time that you had it, yes. I think that's right.
It was like almost a year, yeah. It never failed. I recently made the switch, new name, new branding. I was like, let me actually try to be responsible. Because to a degree, modding everyone, especially with like having bot setups and stuff like that, just like if you mod everyone, you have to configure things so specifically so that your channel doesn't get messed with.
Yeah.
But people still feel important.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I've noticed that like when everyone had a sword, everyone was just sort of chilling, They're like, "Oh, I'm mod? What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just chill, do your thing." And I didn't really have a problem with it, but I also am like lower on the viewer scale, so I don't have like people coming in with like the desire to troll, I want to say, for the most part.
I mean, to be fair, if you see a mod full of swords, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be going in with the intent to troll. Like, you're gonna get disciplined real quick.
If I saw a mod full of swords, I'd probably call an ambulance.
Did I say mod full of swords?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, no, a chat full of swords, though, yeah.
This stream is brought to you by 6 hours of sleep, yet you're still tired as fuck.
Mod full of swords. Call an ambulance.
Stay
Yeah, so
hydrated,
like
kids.
with that being said, yeah, it's sort of like was a self-regulating laissez-faire kind of scenario.
Oh, excellent use of the laissez-faire. Touche.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I dabbled with French a little bit, a little wee wee, a little, you know.
Wait, you
Um,
dealt with Lil Wee Wee? Is that like a relative of El Big Wee Wee, or like
I
French
mean,
cousin, or what's going on there?
mediocredickpics.com. So yeah, like I I think it was a great system, but it's not a sustainable system.
Yeah.
And I've had a few people tell me that, and it wasn't until about like the seventh person, because I'm really stubborn. One of the most stubborn people you'll meet. Just real set in my ways. It wasn't until like the seventh person told me that, and I wanted to like start branching out and actually making content, that I realized I needed to like sort of change my ways and not really assimilate, but sort of standardize
Yeah,
and
you want
get
it to be
structure.
like, well, first of all, you want it to be more uniform, right, with Young Nuggy, and you wanted it to be across multiple platforms and secure that like handle.
Yeah.
Have you done that, by the way? Have you got it on like all the platforms you wanted it on?
There's a little bit of TVs and some things, but we're good.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I caught motherfucker. Right, I'm not sure if I've told you this story, but there's one guy on Instagram, and I cannot get Gengareth on Instagram. And there's this one dude. His name's not even Gareth, right? His name's Gen. Some fucking little prick, right? I've got a lot of built-up tension about this. I'm not gonna front. Like,
Oh,
I
baby.
might have spoke to a counselor about it. Literally, I went into his DMs. I was like, hey man, I noticed you've got this name. And I was like, oh, so first of all, so like, why have you got Gareth in your name? And it's because he's a big fan of Gareth Bale. His name's like again Gareth Bale, and then his whatever his last name is. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, so how much are you gonna pay me for it?" Like right off the bat, like how much are you gonna pay me for it? I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Oh, that's the worst. You
Yeah,
see, like, I think if someone were to reach out to me, they come to my DMs. They're like, "Hey, I really want to start this brand. It means a lot to me." And it's like something that I'm not using for anything. It's just like a nickname or like a random name I thought would be silly. I just like help them grow, you know? Just be like, yeah, go for it. I can, because like if it's not your established thing already and it's just like, oh, because you're interested in something, like
yeah,
be the bigger person, be nice about it, like support other people.
yeah, exactly. There's too many people like trying to get a leg over, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I respect like see, here's the
You
thing.
respect the
I respect
hustle,
yeah, I respect hustles. Like
yeah,
I'm not for it. I won't you'll never really find me trying to like hustle someone. Um but like to an extent, because I don't do that, I can appreciate people who do that.
yeah, for sure. It's like the whole just chatting streamers, right? Like people go around on Twitch and it's like very I find it very like incel when people go around going, titty streamers, and they like talk shit about quote unquote titty streamers, right? Dude, you gotta respect the hustle. If I was a female and I was well endowed in some way, shape, or form, dude, I'd be doing it. I'd be doing what I can. You
I
know,
actually heard a new term. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me. Term for quote unquote titty streamers. And I thought it was funny because it was by a fellow, like, well, not fellow, but it's by like a female streamer that I watch, like real down to earth chill. She called them blink streamers.
boink.
Cause yes, so I was gonna like I heard it. I'm like, I don't quite get what you're saying. Was about to type it. They immediately follow up with the definition. They're like, yeah, a blink streamer, someone who just like sort of sits in the chair, blinks, sometimes reads chat, but they just like do that, and then people are going crazy because of how they look.
Yeah, sure.
I was
Like,
like,
are
that's an
you
interesting spin
familiar
on it.
with Raj Patel?
You see, I'm familiar with what he does. I'm not familiar with any of his content.
Okay, so Raj is a streamer who does like chat shows. He's like the host of the Raj Patel show, and he does a bunch of like. Typically, it's kind of I don't want to say it's typically dating related, but I think it is for the most part. And he'll have like a bunch of, you know, really attractive young women come on and
Must be nice.
yeah, yeah. So he'll have like I can't think of any names. Like I think Amaranth has been on there, like Mia Malkova, you know, just a bunch of
Wait a
just chatting
minute.
streamers.
Hold up, Raj Patel, you said this? Well,
Dude, he's you know, the connections are there. I'm just saying. And this guy is like averaging 20k viewers
yeah.
straight up. Like I think he streams twice a week, but every stream's like 20k viewers plus. And literally he goes in, just has a bunch of attractive women. And then I think the show that I've watched, I've not watched like a bunch of them, but the show I've watched is like King of the Hill. So he'll have like 4 very attractive women on, and then dudes come on and compete, and they basically have to like win the favor of the majority of the girls to stay on, and then they become King of the Hill. And then someone else comes on and they try and knock them off the hill, right? Extremely popular show, and like it gets views. Like it's fucking entertaining. Like it's legitimately entertaining. Not just because, you know, they're all attractive, which they clearly are, but watching dudes come on and like try and win their favor, there's something about it that's just fucking hilarious to me. I don't know. Like some guys go in there with like kind of a persona, and like, you know, kind of like a Doctor Disrespect thing, right? Like they go in there with like a character in mind. Other people like try and go in there and they're more themselves, and it, you know, sometimes it works out. If they're a bit awkward, it probably doesn't work out. Like confidence is a big thing on the show. And then you just have like some complete shit shows where one, for instance, was just so like uncomfortable. He was just like walking around, like people were like concerned for his well-being, I think, because he was like unpredictable, you know. Like I think he got removed from the show pretty quick because they didn't know how he was going to like handle the rejection. So I think they just kind of you know, ended it a little bit early. But I don't know, man.
Yikes.
That kind of content for me. And like I say, they're doing the hustle with, you know, their appearance. Raj is capitalizing on it with their appearance. It's a win-win situation. And I don't think you could be mad at them, right? You can't be mad at the streamers themselves. If you're gonna be mad at anyone, be mad at their fucking viewers, because those are the ones that are like enabling it. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. I hate the saying, but you know, it reigns true in this instance.
I mean, as a single male on the Tinder scene who's very, very unsuccessful, I'm thinking about watching the show and maybe like seeing if any pointers can be picked up.
Oh, for
See anything
sure.
on there that was extra spicy? Well,
It's
something
just confidence, man. It's legit just confidence. Like some of these dudes aren't hella attractive. Like, because the women are all hella attractive, right? There's two
where
main
to
things.
buy confidence and how much.
Also,
Asking
clout.
for a friend.
Clout is a big thing. Because
Oh,
they're all streamers, right? They're all trying to grow. So, for instance, there was a guy, you know, Joker, the guy who got world first, level 60 in WoW Classic.
yeah.
So he went on there, and he won. Like he was confident. I wouldn't say he was a, like personally, I wouldn't say he was a super good looking dude. Yeah, no shots fired, but you know, he was okay. But I wouldn't, you know. Anyway, I wouldn't. He had like the confidence, and he had a lot of clout because he was world first. He was like blowing up on Twitch at the time, and so he won. Right? Everyone gave him his vote, and it was purely because he had the clout. Like you go in there and you've got like fucking, you know, if I went on there and I was not confident, and my channel gets like low viewers, chances are I'm not gonna make it to the next round, you know. But if you go on there and you've got the confidence, and maybe you don't have the viewers, like you need one of the two, or you just need to be hella attractive. One of the three.
Oh man. So what if I'm swinging 0 for 3?
You ain't swinging 0 for 3, dude. You've just got to get the confidence down. See, you
Oh,
have
babe.
the charisma, right? You do have the charisma, but I think when you put yourself in certain situations, it becomes a bit more rigid. Like when we were doing just for a bit of context, we were running
Oh,
like
we're really bringing
sound
this up
tests.
now.
we were running sound tests before the podcast started to like get audio balances and stuff, right? And Noogie was like trying to do like an intro because he was going to do the intro to begin with, and he was like, "Yeah, can you do the intro?" Like it just felt a bit rigid. It felt a bit more formal than what it is when like we usually talk, and I think you kind of, I don't know, you put like an expectation on things. You might like see things to go a certain way, and then if they don't go that way, you become a bit more, I don't know what the word is,
I
restricted
just
on
I
yourself,
just
I
had to
guess.
check the voice call for a second. I could have sworn my ex-girlfriend was in here talking about my performance issues.
Oh shit, dude. Oh, right. Let's not get in the sad boy mode, okay? Let's not get in the sad boy mode just yet. If you do wanna, follow Nuggy's sad boy account, though, you can go to
You cannot.
sadjoke789
No. All
on
right.
on
We're just gonna
Instagram.
expose my Finstagram right quick. All right.
Alt
Well,
account. It's
anyways,
actually great.
if you guys hit me with a follow, you're not gonna accept. I'm just gonna let you know that right now.
Oh yeah, you've got
But
private, haven't you? Damn.
yeah, it's a little bit of privacy. Um, so a question I've been meaning to ask you, right?
Shoot.
You've explained how you like sort of met the community, got to know everyone,
Hmm.
and you're a streamer on Twitch. You play video games. What
Yeah.
got you into video games?
Um.
Yeah, the little question I like to like find out about people because I feel it's such like a very unique and like genuine moment like everyone
Yeah,
has.
for sure, for sure. Like my earliest gaming memories were Pokemon Yellow and Street Fighter 2. Yeah, Street Fighter 2, which was on SNES, I believe. Um Honestly, I think like I was quite a sheltered kid. Um and I was a only child for like what, 7 years, I think it was. So it was hard to like keep myself entertained. Um and you get to like a certain point where you don't want to like spend all your time with your parents. So I think when I was like very young, and I didn't really have much to do, they were like, "Oh, get him a game console." I can't remember asking for it. Maybe I did. Kind of fuzzy on that one. Maybe I asked for it, but either way, I got a SNES. And I remember playing Street Fighter 2, and then I think it just kind of branched off from there. Um, but the first time I remember properly delving into a game was Pokemon Yellow, and getting the grind on, like fucking like a what, 7-year-old, 8-year-old maybe, proper like grinding on a game, like getting those level 100s, beating the Elite Four, feeling like a sense of accomplishment in a video game. And I think once you get that, it's like, I don't know, there's just something about it, right? I'm sure you can relate to that.
Oh well, if we're going into my origin story, it's a little bit different.
Okay, hit me.
So I too was very sheltered. I did have so I have four siblings.
Hmm.
Three of them are significantly older than me, and one's only 3 years older than me.
Oh, so
So
you're the baby of the group.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Explains the young Nugget. Sorry, continue.
so well, I'm a boomer now, so it should probably be not so young, Nuggy, but um it started off like pretty late actually. I didn't get into video games until around the age of 6.
Okay.
Um and I think it was like 5 or 6. It was like I was cognizant enough to know how to play video games. Um it came down to actually my brother's birthday party, and he got a PlayStation 1, and I believe it was Soul Blade. That was the first game that like we owned. Like My older siblings, they had an SNES and like stuff like that, but that was back when we were living in South America, and technology wasn't really like a thing that was domestic over there. Like you had to get it imported.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
my aunt used to live in America, and at that time she would send over things. So we got like an SNES pretty late, but I never touched it because we sort of moved over to America when I was old enough to like get on a plane. So I think my parents were just really waiting for me to be at that age before picking up everything and moving to America. So when we did that, I went to school, lived for a little bit, watched some Dragon Ball like classics. But going forward to my brother's birthday, he got a PlayStation 1. He loved playing fighting games, had a good time, and I'd like mess around with it when I would get a turn. Obviously, all the other kids at the party got to play too. But after the party, I sort of like started picking it up on my own and playing. And my sister noticed it, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to get a game for yourself?" And at that point, like my face lit up. She grabbed me, my brother, and brought us to a Toys R Us because she was gonna get him a game at the same time.
Hmm.
And R.I.P. Toys R Us, by the way. I'll miss you.
Gone
You
but
were my
never
first video game.
forgotten, man. Yeah.
So I explored the aisle, like the whole wall. It was a beautiful sight of just video games. And like I was young, the internet, I wasn't very on it. Like internet was weird back in the time when we were kids. Like it wasn't this big resource that everyone had at immediate fingertip access, you know?
Yeah,
So
for
like
sure.
I didn't know about trailers, I didn't know about like games. I literally walked around the aisle looking at cover art
Yeah.
until I found a game that like sort of like piqued my interest. And that game was Final Fantasy 9. It's very delayed. My first video game was Final Fantasy 9. I looked at the cover, I saw this like castle in the background, these cool fantasy characters, like sort of like that like medieval like swords type thing cuz like my experience with Soul Blade, so I was like, "Oh, this game looks cool."
Hmm.
I'm so excited. It's like a big box, 4 discs. My mind was blown. I was the obvious thing. You get back into the car once you get a game. You rip off that plastic, that fresh case smell. Opening it up, reading the like handbook in there because like you wanted to play the game but you couldn't at the moment, so you were like trying to absorb as much of it as you could as a kid.
Dude,
And like
that's
just
gonna
look
be
at the
one
artwork.
thing kids
Yeah.
will never experience now. Like you still get like the opening of a case and you get like the new game smell, you know, like the
Do you even
freshly
get
done
that? Most of my
plastic.
library is digital nowadays.
Most of it is now, yeah, but like when you buy like a console game, like you get it every now and then. So like probably for me the last one was like God of War or Red Dead Redemption or something, right?
Yeah.
But opening and reading the booklet inside was such a sacred thing,
Even
right?
looking at the artwork alone, like
Yes. Oh, and kids these days, man, they'll never have that. It's
yeah.
we sound so boomer right now.
But it's honestly a tragedy. You
It
guys are
really
missing out.
is.
Go to a vintage game reseller, buy like a PlayStation 1 game or PlayStation 2 even.
Oh
Crack that
no,
open and buy and read the book.
we're not having PlayStation 2 as retro yet, right? Not just yet. Like
I mean,
PlayStation 1's there,
I
I
think
think.
PlayStation 2 was the last golden age of player pamphlets.
I can agree. I can agree there for sure.
Alright. So I still wanted to touch up on the origin of my gaming career. um, so I get home, I pop in Final Fantasy 9, and you're over here talking about playing Pokemon Yellow, getting to 100, really getting the grinding out the badge and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I I played for 15 minutes, got to like this first sub boss. It's not even like a real boss, and wiped to it multiple times, and just stopped playing the game.
Okay. Okay. Quite the opposite experience.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna go on record. I'm not well, I'm trash at most games. I'm not terrible at some things I do, but most games I'm not your god gamer, all right? Like if but yeah, it wasn't until like 3 years later I picked up Final Fantasy 9 again and played it cuz I was like, I mean, I still have this game. Let me try it out. Picked it up, played through it, absolutely fell in love with it. I'm like, this is the pinnacle of enjoyment. Like, you get transported to this other world, you get wrapped up in the story, you feel emotions, and it's like graphics have come a long way, but back then it looked so like real and enticing.
Yeah.
It's
I,
like
I think back
crazy
then,
that a piece of
honestly,
medium could do that to you. Yeah.
I think back then it was much more fantastical, if that's even a word, right? Like, like Spyro 2, right?
Oh my god,
I'd ne-
Spyro
I'd
games.
never really played a game that I'd been like fully transported. Like Pokemon was a new experience, right? But it was much more about like catching them all and being like a completionist. Spyro 2 was straight up like exploring a world that you'd never encountered before. And the art's like the more stylized games that are just kind of timeless. Like Zelda's, for instance, right? Like when you always remember your first Zelda game
That's the
because
green dude, right?
oh my god, dude. Please, okay, please.
Just jokes, jokes. I obviously know that Link is the MC of Legend of Zelda.
But I don't know. It's just like you say, you get transported, and it's just your escapism that you don't really get with any other form of media. Like films can take your mind off of things, and you can kind of like how to put it. You can get transported to the world, but you can't interact with the world like you
That's
can in
what
a
I think it
game.
is. I think it's that little extra bit that brings it from a film that this character's responding to what I do rather than this character's living and doing its own thing and I'm like I'm ingesting it. It's like I get to control that. That makes like gaming in general just this magical beast.
I mean, in some cases as well, like you are the character. Like it's not even, oh yeah, I'm controlling Spyro. In some games, and I think in Zelda, because Link, doesn't have a voice, I think you become Link for a lot of those games. And at least that's the way I felt, like I felt like I was him and I was on this kind of, RPG adventure and you gotta fucking save the princess, save the world, all that stuff. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. It's when you're controlling a character, maybe it's like some level of fucking god complex we're all gonna like, low key touch on at some point, but there's just something, it's unparalleled. Like there's nothing else like it. There really isn't.
See, I want to say I didn't really get that experience for a while. I didn't get to feel like the main character was me. Like I'd get absorbed into the world, but I would like see the main character as the main character and like see like how they got absorbed into the world.
Hmm.
Maybe because like I don't know. I don't want to like say it's because I'm brown, but like there wasn't really like a lot of customer characterization back in the day.
For sure. Yeah, like representation, I mean it's come a long way, but I still think it's not quite there.
Yeah, but like I'm not like a stickler. Like, oh, the character needs to look like that. Just like customization in general. Like
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think that's what made me start to feel more like the character when I was able to like change like, oh, they have this hair now or something like that. So the first moment I really felt like this is me, this is my world, and the game's responding to everything was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It had a lot to do with the first person aspect to it as well. But like that was like just a really immersive RPG.
Do you feel more immersed when you're in first person?
You see, yes and no. Um, yes, in most RPGs, no in a shooter.
Interesting. See, I don't know what it is, but like when I play when I played like Skyrim or like Deus Ex or something, there's just something about being in first person that I think the game feels a lot more intense, right? Because you don't have the third person camera, so you can't like, as a game
Yeah,
you
your
you
field
learn
of
to
view is
abuse
very
it.
tunneled.
Yeah, for sure. So you're like horror games do this very well because you have to literally 180 if you want to look behind you and stuff like this. Um, so maybe it's like a case of being kind of spoiled in a way, like being a bit spoiled in the sense that we've had third person cameras, and then when we have to narrow down our vision again, it feels a bit alien.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, I just can't get into it. Like I was kind of low key disappointed when Cyberpunk, what is it, 2077,
Yeah.
announced that it's going to be primarily first person, other than like driving. I was a bit disappointed because I can't get into it. Like maybe if there's some kind of like VR experience, um, but I don't know. There's just something about it that kind of pulls me out of the game.
You think it's gonna take VR for that? That's really interesting. Maybe after this, I'm gonna throw some games your way, and I really want to delve deeper into that. But VR, that's I think that's my next big like want. I
I think
want to
it's
experience
still, yeah.
VR.
I think it still needs to come a long way though.
Oh, it's so early, but just like I'm a guy who doesn't look at where it is right now, but I'm banking on the possibilities. Like when I was really just researching VR and stuff, I watched one video where a guy spent 72 hours in a VR headset, like
Oh yeah, I've seen
whenever
that as
possible.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I would be very interested in doing something similar to that.
72
But
hour stream confirmed.
not yet, not quite yet. Just like I like the concept of like giving new technology that try, that little like not writing it off because the potential is there. Like you can form the world around you based on what you need at the time. And I think that like people don't always have access to the environment that they want.
Yeah,
And that's like very big in today's culture, especially like with mental health or just like attention just not being there. You want something else, or like just even resources. Like, hey, I wish I could be here, or like I'm in a very tight space and it's like really like imposing. So just having that option to create the world around you to something that works for you, just that possibility seems mind blowing to me. It's everything I could want.
I mean the thing with VR is like quite literally the possibilities are endless. Like it's not just being used for games. It's being used for like educational purposes. I believe 3D. I mean, 3D's been in like
Meditation.
medical services for a while, right? Because they'll have like
Yeah.
3D assets of like anatomy and stuff, and then I'm just talking out my ass here, but I'd assume like VR's implemented in there some way or shape or form.
Yeah, I've played Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, exactly. Basically the same thing, right? Like, if you can do it in Surgeon Simulator, then you can do it IRL. I think
I
that's
mean,
even like written
honestly,
in the
if
rules.
if you're a hospital and you're hiring, hit your boy up. I
He-
can clear level 1 in 10 minutes.
Oh boy. Speedrun surgery. There we go. Next title.
That's probably not even a good time. 10 minutes. It's actually like just piss. Man.
But yeah, I think so. For instance, tying it into like first person games in VR, right? I think if I played Skyrim or Deus Ex with VR, I think it would be a lot more immersive because I think I played both of those games on controller. I don't know, it just feels so clunky as opposed to like third person, right? Because you have to like move your head like on a vertical axis and then a horizontal axis, and if you try and do it at the same time, like you might have to readjust, and it just feels very unnatural. Where if that's on
Here's
your
my
head,
question to you I want to pose real quickly.
yeah, go for it.
Were you streaming during the time?
For Deus Ex and Skyrim, no, but I
Really?
have
All
played
right.
Skyrim on stream
All right, continue.
after that. and I guess it was a little bit more immersive on PC, but I think I was a bit hesitant because obviously I was like trying to engage with chat and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always had the issue with it. Like I played Skyrim back on Xbox way back when, like what, 2004, whatever it was, 2006.
I think it was 11/11/11 for Skyrim.
It was
I remember
11.
them. Yeah, I think they did it November 11th, 2011, because they wanted that. It was a big thing.
Yeah, you might be right actually. Okay, yeah. Or whenever it was, I played it then, and I had to play in third person for the most part. Like I do combat in first person because it felt a bit more immersive, but like exploring and stuff, it felt so tunnel visioned that I felt like I was gonna miss out on a bunch of stuff.
Have you tried increasing your field of view?
I don't think I did, no, because I don't think I really knew about field of view and stuff back then. But at the same time, like if you play games with increased field of view, it does take away from the realism a little bit, right?
I'm assuming that's how it is for most people. I just have wonky eyes where I'm very like narrow visioned.
I mean, I'm
So
adjusted to it now, but
yeah,
I'm speaking in like the general sense. Like I imagine it's not quite realistic, but I don't know.
yeah. I just don't know what good eyes look like, so I try to optimize what I can see.
Yeah, I think VR it's onto something. If you've seen like if you read the book, Ready Player One, or if you've seen the movie,
Mhm.
um, I mean both takes are good. Like it's not a case of one's better than the other. Both takes are good, but I prefer the book personally. But the way they address VR and how it's kind of implemented just across the board, like it's almost mandatory. Like there's just one system and everyone's using it, and it's VR, and it's just one sole platform, but then everyone has different peripherals based on what you can afford, right? Or what is accessible to you. So you're playing on, say, for instance, the VR system was a PS4.
Yeah.
That is the sole console, but you could have like $1,000 haptic suit where you can feel like people get like punching you in the ribs or kicking you in the dick or whatever.
Oh, like striking Viper's X.
Yeah, exactly like that. Or you could have like the bare bones where it's just the headset and then like the gloves, and then like maybe like a trackpad that you can like walk on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing with VR. I think if they want to nail it, they need to figure out a way to walk in the game without it being restricted to a controller and it's actually you walking. I think
Have
that's
you
the biggest
seen like
issue.
that weird platform with the ring around it that you're like tethered to that you can sort of like run? It's a weird like omnidirectional what is that, treadmill? Treadmill's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, omnidirectional. See, I've seen that in Ready Player One. I don't know if it's like a is it a real thing?
I've seen some YouTube videos around about it. I don't know how accessible it is, but I'll definitely show you that at some point.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing it because I think that's the biggest thing at the minute, to get you like fully immersed because they've got the the visual aspect down, like you look around and stuff. Um, I guess they've got the hands down, like it's still a controller based. Like if they can get it on like gloves, like a fucking not like power glove like Nintendo shit, right? But like
Yeah.
straight up something a bit more sleek, something a bit more modern, and then they get the like you say, what was it, omnidirectional treadmill. If they figure that out, I mean, obviously it's going to be expensive as fuck, and it's not going to be accessible to everyone. But
Yeah.
for those select few that have access to it, I think it would be an unparalleled experience.
I'd I'd be sold on it, honestly. Um, I do kind of like the freedom though of just like being able to move in real life without moving in game too though. Like
Yeah,
I like what the controllers bring to an extent. I want to have options, I think.
yeah. I mean, again, that depends on like the level of immersion that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
For sure. I can agree with you. With that said, we have hit the hour threshold. We did it. Good job.
Oh man, high five team, good work. I'll
High
see you
five.
next week.
That actually went a lot quicker than I thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna hit a few speed bumps along the way. Went very smooth.
Yeah. Did
Very
we
smooth.
close it out? Are we still going?
No, we're still going. We're still going. I'm not gonna just
Alright.
end it on a fucking whim, dude. Like yeah, hour. Fuck off. No, if you want
Alright,
additional
can someone
content.
get me away from this guy?
If you want
I
additional
asked
content,
for my coffee 5 minutes ago.
you gotta subscribe to the fucking Patreon page for bathwater and the additional outro. Yeah, that shit, dude. But
I'll just go with the EA strat, lock it behind a paywall, no shots fired.
I mean,
Please sponsor us, EA. All right.
just anyone, dude. I honestly like if you're watching this and you've got like some kind of if you got a donut stand and you want to help a brother out, hook us up. I'll support Dynasty Donuts or whatever the fuck you're rocking. Limppenis.com, hit us up. We need a sponsor. Whatever you're feeling.
Oh man, I was about to just slap it with the please no unsolicited dick pics, but I mean,
I think imagine not receiving unsolicited dick pics in 2019 though. I mean, wait, that's illegal now though, right? In some places like Texas and shit.
Probably. I mean, I don't think I've ever faced that problem.
No, me neither.
I've never been on the giving or receiving end of an unsolicited dick pic though.
I mean, no, I'm kidding. No, I've never been on either end either.
Yeah, guys, cannot emphasize this enough. Consent is important.
Consent is important. Respect women. Real talk. Like, not even a meme. Respect women.
Yeah.
I was gonna say chat.
Respect everyone. Just respect everyone.
I mean, you can be a dick, but there's a limit. Okay. Don't be a cunt. No one likes a cunt, but you can be a dick. I think that's a solid message to close out on, right?
For sure. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you on the flip side, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that. No, I'm not.
Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications on when we go live next. And if you like what you see, hit us with a like and a comment below. Let us know what you want to see on next episode, and we'll be reading your comments.
Oh, that's actually a spicy one. Oh, dude, okay. So we need to closing comments, real talk. We've hit up DudeBroDudes on like every platform. We need it on Twitter. If we set it up on Twitter, we will do maybe like a Q&A or something.
Yeah, I'm 100% down. I will answer 99.875 questions.
Yeah.
Or percent of questions. Like almost anything, but they're like within limits. Like be reasonable, but don't be too reasonable. If that makes sense.
I will answer anything as long as it's not incriminating. Yeah, I'm down.
TOS are incriminating for sure. I can't answer that on content, but I mean, if you want a little DM or something.
And who knows? Next episode we might have another guest.
Ooh,
we've
surprise.
got people lined up. Let's just leave it at that.
I've got a few names thrown around that I'm thinking of right now, but we'll hit you with the zesty, spicy next episode.
But yeah, when this video is uploaded, there will be a Twitter in the description. I was gonna say bio in the description. So if you follow that Twitter, you will be notified on the progress of this shit show that we call a podcast.
Alright. DudeBroDude.
Signing out.
Magical.